Psst, hey you. I'm going to let you into a secret. During my day job as a secret agent, I came across a formula that turns basic chord progressions into magic sounding gloriousness every time. This formula has been kept under lock and key by the pros for years. But if you use it, you'll be able to turn a basic chord progression like this into something like this. And I wasn't just adding in random chords there. There is a way to know which chords to choose. And it's all thanks to what I found in the secret file. Secondary dominants. And if you understand how to use secondary dominants as passing chords, then you'll be able to take your piano playing to the next level. Okay, I'm going to show you now, but don't tell anyone or I'm afraid I'd have to kill you. What's amazing about these secondary dominants is that they are hiding in plain sight in some of the most famous songs ever. Stick around until the end of the video and I'll show you. But first of all, let me explain how they work. So if you didn't know already, a passing chord is when you add an extra chord in between two chords to make it sound more interesting. It's like driving home from work but stopping off on the way back to get an ice cream. Now, before I explain what a secondary dominant is, I need to explain what a dominant is. In music, the dominant is the fifth degree of the scale. So if you take the C major scale, the dominant is the G, because if you count at 5 from the C, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you land on the G. So then, if you play a G major triad on that 5, that G chord is the dominant chord in the key of C. And it's common that these dominant chords are seventh chords, because it creates a tension in the sound that feels like it needs to resolve back down to the root, which is the C. Yeah? A secondary dominant is when you play a dominant chord in another key other than the original. Let me explain using a very basic chord progression. So we're in the key of C, and we're going to use the three chords of C major, D major, and E minor. So as it sounds, it's really very simple and straightforward. But let's apply these secondary dominants as passing chords and completely transform it. First of all, you need to identify the dominant chord of the chord you are moving to. So here we are starting on the C and we're going to move to the D major chord. So we need to figure out the dominant chord or fifth in the key of D, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, landing on the A. So we're going to then play an A7 there. What you then do is you use that secondary dominant that we've identified as a passing chord between the first two chords. So we're on the C, and then we're going to go to the D, but we're adding in that A7 in between as a passing chord. Yeah, see how it works? Let's do it again. So if you wanted to add another secondary dominant in between the D major and the E minor chord, first to identify the dominant or the fifth of the chord you are moving to. So we're moving to the E minor chord. So we're going to find the fifth from there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That takes you to the B. So we're going to play a B7. That is your new passing chord you're going to add in between. And now we've turned a basic 3 chord progression that sounded like this into this. Now let's put this into practice. I want you to have a go. I want you to have a go at adding secondary dominants as passing chords to this chord progression. C, G, A minor, and F. And just a quick tip, these dominant chords are major triads with minor seventh intervals. And you can also identify a perfect fifth every time by just counting up 7 semitones or half steps. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And that would land you on the perfect fifth every single time. Please now pause the video and see if you can figure them out. Okay, so hopefully you've figured those out. Now, here's what you should have got. Okay, so we started off on the C major, and then we're moving to the G. So you need to figure out the fifth from the G. That takes you to a D7. Okay, so you've got the C, D7, then to the G. The next chord was an A minor, so upper fifth on the A minor is an E, so it's an E7 chord, and then to the A minor. And then finally, we've got the F chord, so you need to figure out up 5 from the F. That's a C, so again it's C7 and to the F. So again, we've got that chord progression which should turn from this to this. So that's how they work. Don't you think they're amazing? I love them because they can turn a basic chord progression into something that sounds much more interesting. By the way, if you want to learn more about chords and how you can use them to become a better player, then I do have an in-depth course over on my website. I'll leave a link in the description below. And like I said at the start of the video, secondary dominants are used all the time in famous songs, and they're usually the chords that add the extra bit of magic to the chord progressions. For example, Yesterday by the Beatles. Yesterday, all my troubles seem so far away. Okay, so it starts off on the F, goes to the E minor, and then it's got that really cool twist in the chord progression there. That there is a secondary dominant because it's going to a D minor, but look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, A, so the A7, yeah? That's a secondary dominant. And that sounds really cool, doesn't it? It just takes you somewhere we're not quite expecting. Another example is Dancing Queen by ABBA. You can dance, you can jive, having the time of your life. So that bit there. Yeah? So we're going from the E to the F sharp minor. Watch this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. C sharp. So it's a C sharp 7 they've added it there. In between. Yeah? And I'll show you one more. And it's in How Deep Is Your Love by the Bee Gees. I know your eyes in the morning sun. I feel you touch me in the pouring rain. And if we just quickly look at that, we've got the E flat, G minor 7 to the F minor 7. And then it's here. Rather than just staying on the F minor 7 to the G, it goes to the, watch, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's a C, so it's a C7, secondary dominant. So it's going from the F minor 7, and it's going secondary dominant, and then back to the F minor 7 again. So adding in that passing chord. And it just makes it sound really interesting. And that was just 3 examples, but it just goes to show that if you understand about these secondary dominants, you can find them everywhere. And hopefully now you understand them, you'll be able to include them in your own playing or your own songwriting. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, including the sort of weird sort of spy thing I did at the start. If you liked it, please give it a like and maybe even subscribe. You also may be interested in this video of mine. I've been Arthur from Birds Piano Academy, and thanks for watching.